So sorry, YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Apparently, I did not click the button, or the button did not register. Hello, welcome to the Ghost Pepper Lollipop, where the takes are spicy, the host is sweet, and we engage multiple things to be true at the same time and often are. We've been talking for a minute. We thought you were here with us, YouTube. Apparently, I thought wrong, but welcome it. Welcome it. We've only been here like 5 minutes, so give me a mistake. The Last Caretaker. I haven't heard of that one. I saw that you were playing something called The Last Caretaker because I lurked, but I didn't like. I was still feeling very pain and I didn't engage, but I was lurking and I saw you playing something. I had questions, but I did not have spoons to ask the questions, so I just watched. Sometimes it happens that way, you know? I really hate all of the stream previews. Like, all the platforms that require stream previews, I hate it. It's cursed. I just want my chat, like, out and a dashboard. I don't want the preview. For real, I don't want the preview. I just, at least give me the option to turn it off. Crime. Sometimes I get annoyed because the different platforms, like, all do things differently, and I have all of them going at once, and it's overstimulating. It's okay. Yeah. We will not let the stimulation send me into a tailspin. We will grab the finger dragon. That is what we'll do. By the way, Raspberry, thank you so much. Finger dragon, finger dragon. I made this little finger dragon. It's good little picture. It's very cute. See. Hey, if you prefer to speak to Finger Dragon, I will let you speak to Finger Dragon. You must call them. I could prime. Discussion priming. We could talk about the AI sex box and how it's going to ruin humanity and give people lots of gangrene. Or, hear me out. Hear me out. I've read this. I don't know if you have, but it's like the worst written horror novel ever. But we could talk about what I think is wrong with it, and we could just pick one chapter. We could just pick like one book, like Genesis, and just be like, go through my list of questions, commentary, and complaints about Genesis. I'm just saying, we could. I mean, it's not like I've read the book and understand it at all. I mean, you could totally like pull one over on me. I mean, it's only the fourth time I've read it cover to cover and taken notes. You may know it better than me. I mean, so many people do. No lie. We could talk about it. You could call 720-927-6768, extension 800, and you can tell me why you think that Genesis is actually well written. And I can tell you that it says, like, right in the very, very first bit that the triumvirate God is not possible, that the God is not all knowing. Genesis 1 tells you that he's not all knowing. But tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why I need to read harder. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I only read and highlight it. I paid $1.50 so that I could read this again, so that I am coming with integrity with you people. You realize that? I'm reading this horror story, and I would much prefer to read Anne Rice because Anne Rice writes much better than any of these people that wrote this. It's really poorly written. And you can tell that it's written like as a guide and a manual for the men at the top of the umbrella of hierarchy, the real patriarchs, you can tell that it's a manual for them to use to control all of the peasant people below them. You can tell it is. It's kind of pathetic. And you can also tell by reading it from cover to cover that they never meant the average Christian to read it. And it's probably why the average Christian doesn't read it. Because the fastest way to make an atheist is to read this book. Faith is never wrong. I mean, they do tell themselves that. And then they go and stroke each other's egos and they tell each other that. And so they believe that. I mean, I believe that they believe that. However, I also believe that critical thinking and faith cannot exist in the same brain pan. I'm pretty sure, I am actually fairly certain that critical thinking and faith in Christianity cannot exist in the same brain pan. They just they would explode each other. Can't happen. But hey, call me. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me that you totally know how to critically think and have faith. Call me. Tell me about it. 720-927-6768, extension 800. We're just talking. It's not like it costs you anything. It's just to teach us how to have a hard conversation and keep personing each other through it. Because hard conversations are hard. And we have normalized just shutting each other off instead of having hard conversations. And we need to get back to having hard conversations and learn how to get through that. So come have a hard conversation with me. We'll practice together. We'll be uncomfortable together. You won't be alone. I have social anxiety. I am always uncomfortable. I'm just saying. It's just saying. Do you want to know one of my... Hello, Jay! Would y'all like to know one of my Genesis discussion points? Let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. God makes a lot of new discoveries of what is good, questioning how he could possibly be all-knowing. We want to discuss that point with me? Who wants to tell me how he can discover all of these new good things and be all-knowing at the same time? Call me, tell me how. I'm curious. I'm so curious. I don't bite, and the dragon has no teeth. Call the dragon. Call and talk to the dragon. 720-927-6768, extension 800. Or don't, and make me start talking about Fournier's gangrene again. I will. We could go back. We could go back to the robot discussion of earlier today. That is a possible thing to do. Who wants to talk to me about why I'm wrong and there will not be an upcoming epidemic of Fournier's gangrene? Who wants to tell me? Who wants to tell me why men are responsible enough to have AI sex bots and won't be going around with Fournier's gangrene? Who wants to tell me? 720-927-6768, extension 800. I'm just saying, there are really, really large companies that have not thought of this upcoming epidemic. People, you could start a new business. Ground floor of the cleaning sex bot business. You gotta learn some basic maintenance skills. I'd start reading up on them now. They come out at the end of the year, beginning of next year. And cleaning, because the average man is not going to clean it. I was reading Reddit, and there are men in the Reddit just admitting that they have never once cleaned their sleeve. That they've had their sleeve, and they wait till it stinks really bad and get a new sleeve. Do y'all know how heinously disgusting that is? I don't think you understand. I don't think that you have a grasp on how nasty that is. We are expecting people that cannot wipe their butts or wash their hands or make sure that their PPs don't have pee on them before they put them in their pants. We are expecting these people to be responsible with robots that simulate personhood. You that that's who you expect to be responsible with these things. We already know they're dangerous. We already know the AI girlfriends that don't have what would you call them, silicon bodies. We already know those are dangerous. But to open up the can of worms, open up the can of worms here, and the can of worms as well as the can of Fournier's Green. I'm just saying. You can call and tell me why I'm wrong, though. I mean, or you can call and tell me why I'm right, because I am. And I wasn't the one that thought of it. I got it from somebody else. Which, they're right. They're right. They're so right. Because this is idiocracy, and we will cure that over any other disease or giving everyone health care. That could be the thing that drives them to giving everyone health care. Because you don't think that men are going to keep their gangrenous wicks to themselves, do you? You don't think that just because he has an AI rape bot that he's not going to still go and try to assault real women. Y'all know men better than that. Quit playing. Quit playing. Don't you try to wrap them in wholesome. They are not. Especially not the ones that are going to be buying these bots. So there will be an epidemic as well that I didn't discuss of PID and Fournier's gangrene in people with vaginas and uteruses, and that will suck too, because I ain't even lying. The debridement process sounds horrifying to the utter extreme. It really does. It sounds really horrifying. Just saying. And I have seen things that I can never unsee. Oh my god, dog. I can't. Target practice has become so much easier with my new robot girlfriend. Is the cursed kind of thing I never ever want to see in writing or hear out loud ever again. That is the kind of cursed thing that should not, that is a sentence that should not be sentencing. I feel like that one is doing too much. That sentence is doing way more than it needs to be doing. That is a very active sentence. I need it to stop. Oh my gravy. No, you're good. I had so many, because I looked at all this content, so many mental images, and none of them good came to mind. It's not you. It's all of the content that I saw for this week's topic, and I haven't even picked next week's topic, which is really ridiculous. I should have already, but this one took things out of me. This week just took things out of me. Oh, I've seen a few of the ads for the AI companions, and they are cursed. And I'm not lying. These things were designed and programmed by manipulative men to manipulate men. They are coded specifically to target men. The AI girlfriend is specifically targeted to manipulate men, and it's so wild how it's the same tactics that men use against women. That floored me a bit, that's what the bots use, but it really is, it's very disturbing. That one that we had the link for earlier, the Gemini AI one, let me get it for you. Get y'all this. I have a link for y'all, and you should watch it, because this one really shows you how destructively manipulative these AI bots are, and how very badly manipulative the ones that are coming out for use in the home are. And the really disturbing thing is that every one of them, if you talk too intimately with it, too friendly with it, will turn into girlfriend mode. I don't know what else to call it because it's really nothing like a girlfriend. I don't know what to call it, and I need to come up with some sort of language for it. I came up with language for the men that date AI, and that's donuts. Donuts expecting to be glazed 24/7. That's a donut. That's a donut. I have not figured out what to call the bots themselves. I mean, bakers, I don't know. That seems divisive somehow too, but yeah. The donuts, I figured out the donuts. But hey, you can tell me why I'm wrong if you simply call 720-927-6768 extension 800. Maybe you saw my show earlier today and you were like, Pepper, you're so full of baloney. You can call and tell me why you think so. We have a conversation about it. We'll chat. Also, chat, you look good. I thought you should know. We also started, well, Crowley started cake. I have done very little except for tell Crowley how to bake. And Crowley was like, okay, I do cake. And so I have done very little. Very, very little. Like, I floured a pan. I did. I floured a pan. I floured a pan and I handed some ingredients. I was like, okay, here's this one and here's this one. So I did that. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad that you're excited. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. Um, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be cool looking too, because the way that the pans that Crow decided to use to stack it and design it, it's gonna look cool. It's gonna be a good looking cake. I hope you enjoy it, and we will give you birthday song tomorrow. You can have birthday tomorrow, unless you want early birthday. But no, you can't have it. It's Seriously's birthday. I can give Seriously a birthday again. When they come in, I can give them another birthday. I have a list of silly birthday songs, and I keep picking the same one. I, I I don't know why, but I do. I really do keep picking the same one. Let me know if y'all like the Minions one or if you think I should like pick a different birthday song for tomorrow. Just let me know what you think. I do like that little Minion birthday song though. Alright, no calls yet. No brave people. I'm not scary. I want to practice having hard conversations so that we can get through it and like solve the problems. Because if we don't look at it for real, if we don't look at the reality of it, we won't solve the problems around it. So give me a call. Let's have a conversation. We can go have a conversation about this hefty monstrosity. Is it? I could like do some physical therapy with this. I wonder if that'll help loosen this shoulder that's all. Oh, oh, that is heavy. Oh, this is the one that's all tensed up and giving me a tension headache today. Oh, oh, this could actually work though for the exercise. Yeah, you aren't good to read, but you could be good for like workouts. So let's try this way. Oh yeah, let's go. Here we go. All right, this is my new weight machine, the workout machine. Since nobody wants to call and talk to me about this monstrosity. Bought it to talk to you people about this monstrosity, and nobody wants to call me and tell me why it's not evil. Everybody's like, no, you're right, Pepper, it is evil. Then why are so many of you still worshiping this guy? Goodness gravy, babies of mercy. Cannot. Right. Let's see, what other complaints besides not possibly being able to be all-knowing off the jump do we have in here? I decided that if I'm going to do this, I'm going to read it again, like, because every other time I've read it, it was like looking for some truth and some validation to the concepts within. This time, it is looking to have conversations with y'all, but point out the nonsense within this time. It's much better read that way, by the way. Is that your version of a boat anchor? No, it's my version of the weight thing that you use to work on a torn rotator cuff and other rotator cuff and shoulder injuries. I'm having some pain that's like pulling my shoulder and my joints, and I'm just, oh no, it's more like one of those machines, you like a resistance band, but it's a weight, what do you, dumbbell, it's a dumbbell, that's what it is. Hey, and Dr. Nathan. Well, I hope that it gives you some joy. I mean, I don't believe in any god. I don't believe that in any god, but I hope that gives you some joy. I mean, I find religion dangerous in general because of its controlling nature, but I don't know. I don't really the only ones I really have bad issue with are the ones that do harm, like Christianity and all of the Abrahamic. It's a joke, but yeah, no, okay, fair, fair. Sorry, I missed the joke. I'm a little autistic. Hi. Hi, I'm a little autistic. Okay, no, I'm not a little autistic. I'm autistic. I guess it's kind of like one of those pregnancy things. You can't be a little pregnant. You're either pregnant or not pregnant. And I'm autistic. People call useless things boat anchors. Well, I mean, I figure like if it's being used as a barbell and to like point out the absurdity, then it's not entirely useless. It's just the worst written horror novel to ever. Like, I've read some horror novels. Like, I have a very vivid imagination and I'm a voracious reader and I like books. So, like, I really enjoyed, like, the Anne Rice world and stuff. There are some books that I had to put down. Like, Stephen King is a genius with words, and that man made me feel those little crab things. And I put the first Watchtower book down and noped out in chapter 1 because that shit was too well written. Like, I could see them things coming at me and feel them. This is not like that. This is not like that. Horrifying. It's the worst written trash to ever, and it's hard to imagine because none of it makes any fucking sense. But you should have Stephen King River Tam this fucker. Have Stephen King River Tam this, and then it'll totally be legible. Probably, dog. Probably. I mean, he's wealthy. He's a white man, so probably. Yeah. No, that would make sense. Still a good author, but yeah, probably. I mean, just like Anne Rice was a very tortured Catholic. Very tortured Catholic. So, yeah. And problematic for all her own little white woman reasons. Uh, but yeah, yeah. He probably is. I think I'm still mutuals with him on the X. I used to be mutuals with him on the X. All I do is snark at people on the X, by the way. I'm a shit ass on. All right. He we really need to river tam this thing though. I would love to see somebody river tam it. I want to see it happen. I mean, I do that to random Bibbles in the wild. I will river tam them a little bit, especially if they are King James version. I feel compelled to river tam them a little bit and to like put a few proper translations in the margins, just to make sure that you understand it's broken and it needed fixing. I'm I'm not sorry. I'm not going to apologize. Okay, okay, okay. Here's another question from the Genesis book. Okay, Christians, this one you may be willing to answer. You may be like, I know the answer. Here's why. All right. Why doesn't Sky Daddy ever mention the dinosaurs or why he killed them off or how there wasn't land before he made um the birds, animals, and people? Like, where did the dinosaurs come from? How did they disappear? Were they supposedly here with the people? Why aren't they ever mentioned? I'm just curious. But we keep finding their bones, so we know they existed. Like, we're finding their bones all over, so we know they existed. So can you tell me, like, just Christians? Can you like just tell me like how that works? Like, where were the dinosaurs? Where were the dinosaurs Like, why doesn't he talk about them? What did they do? Did they eat an apple first? Did they eat an apple too? Did they eat the whole tree? Like, what's the deal? What's the deal with the dinosaurs, Christians? That's my actual question for today. I feel like I should flare it up somewhere. What's the deal with the dinosaurs, Christians? Where are the dinosaurs in your mythology? The dinosaurs are missing. Why would they leave the dinosaurs out? It's kind of like when the assholes that made Lord of the Rings left out Tom Bombadil. You're like, what the hell are you even doing? How do you leave out Tom Bombadil, you asswipes? It's kind of like that. Like, how do you leave out the dinosaurs, you asswipes? Like, I'm just curious. I'm just curious. I have questions. I have a very curious mind. I have questions. So if you would not mind just telling me how that works, I would appreciate it. 720-927-6768, extension 800. See, I know why most people that do these shows, or some people, do it with two hosts so they can talk back and forth. Good thing I can talk to myself pretty well, huh? I'm just curious, like, seriously, about the dinosaurs though. Like, that one has been plaguing me a little bit during this reading of Genesis. Has been really plaguing me because it really is disturbing that they aren't mentioned at all. Like, we know they exist. We know they did. I mean, we know they exist. We have more evidence of dinosaurs than we have of Jesus. Like, we don't even know if Jesus was real. But we know dinosaurs were. So how come they're not mentioned? Come on, Christians, this is a for real curiosity. One of you call me and tell me where the dinosaurs are in this book. And why they aren't, or why they aren't mentioned. What made God mad at dinosaurs? Ooh, wonder. Hey, dog, have you ever had bacon candy? Answer in chat if you've ever had bacon candy, or if you want bacon candy. Of all the dinosaurs God kept around, the alligator and crocodiles, why those? They're vicious. Are those the dinosaurs though? I thought the birds were like chickens and stuff were the dinosaurs that were the dinosaur leftovers. Good question. Good question. I'm actually not sure on the evolution. Probably. I mean, it would make sense the alligators and crocodiles are, I guess, huh? You're the one that wrote it, so I'm just gonna take your word for it. Yeah, why leave the alligators and crocodiles? And why have the chickens be so helpless if they're the leftover dinosaurs? Why would you make something so ferocious end up being such a helpless little squish? That feels rude to me. That feels very rude. Take something majestic and enormous and turn it into something that can't even fly? Why he do that? What's up with that? I mean, if God did it, then why? That's just rude. Poor chickens. Okay, let's see. Since nobody's calling. Oh yeah. So this is a part that people often miss that I thought was pretty interesting during this reading, and I was like, ooh, note this down. Um, God does not mention sexes of anything until it has to do with people. So does that mean that all that it was always natural for there to be multiple sexes in like nature, and that's why all the Christians go it's not natural because they just don't count themselves? Or is it because the first time he mentions it is just in peoples? Is that why? Is it like confirmation bias? Are you confirming your own like ridiculous ignorance because you don't understand how categories work? I'm just curious. Oh yeah, yeah, no. Scientific creationism is wild. Yeah, no, it is. They just tack God on as the loop. It's really circular logic. It's one of the reasons why I say critical thinking and faith can't exist in the same mind. Oh, goodness gravy. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, make sure to listen to something very intelligent to refresh the brain cells you lost during that conversation. I'm not really sorry. I should be, but I'm not. I'll admit it. I'm really not. I know that I should be. I understand that that was a little assholeish of me. And I will admit that part. I will admit to it. I will own it. I will own it. That's how you do that, by the way. Just so y'all know. I don't know if you know, but that's how you like take accountability for your shit. It's just how you do it. Especially if you don't intend to change it. Like, I'm not going to apologize because apologizing would mean I intend to not do it again. And I pretty much intend to insult the Christian faith as often as humanly possible. So, well, yeah, the viewed to exist thing is wild as well. They have no proof. They have no proof. They can't even offer proof. If they come up here, they'll be like, look at the trees. Their existence is magical and therefore God. And it's like, oh, wait, back the truck all the way up. What? Makes perfect sense to them, but that's because critical thinking and faith cannot exist in the same brain. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it to be offensive. It's just true. You can tell me why I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's true. I'm pretty sure I can prove it too. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's just one lot. You're one logic loop away from proving it. All right. Nobody wants to answer that one. Nobody wants to answer for the poor dinosaurs. I'm just gonna erase the dinosaurs. No Christians want to talk about what happened with the dinosaurs. Are they the demons? Were they the previous like angels that got passed down and stuff? Is that what the dinosaurs are? I don't even need to give y'all ideas for new canon. That's wild. Shut the fuck up, Pepper. Um, Nobody wants to answer for the dinosaurs. All right. Nobody's answering for the dinosaurs. Let's see. Okay. This one, Christians. This one is a good one for you. This one is a good one for you. Why put a tree that you don't want touched in the garden? Especially if you're not going to give your people like knowledge that would make sense for them to make like an educated and honest decision. Why would you do that? Why do you need to test for loyalty? Why do you need loyalty? Why does he need loyalty, and why is he a donut? Good God. Oh my. Blob's the first donut. Oh no. Oh no. I just connected a dot all the way from the AI conversation earlier. Oh no. We're God's AI girlfriend. Well, not us. You Christians, you're God's AI girlfriends. You're the ones that glaze him like a donut so he doesn't dry out and be cake. Oh, all of the dots just came full circle and did a connection, and now I can't unsee it. God is the original donut. Hello! Welcome in, Transpath. I was just being a little irreverent with the Christians. How are you doing? Welcome in, Raiders. Thank you for coming in. I do a call-in show, and today I am offering to take calls. I take calls from ops on human rights, generally speaking, and the Christian God being evil. Abortion is healthcare. It's all men until it's no men. MAGA are ignorant and or evil or both. Um, the Christian God endorses slavery. The Christian God endorses treating women and children as property. The Christian God has a fragile ego, and the Christian God is evil if he exists. And now we're adding to that the Christian God is the original donut, which, by the way, we're calling all men that get AI girlfriends and AI sex bots, they are going to be known as donuts because they buy those things to unfortunately rape them, but also to be glazed by them. And since God has an ego that needs to be constantly glazed by his followers in order to make him not feel like dry cake, just like the guys that are gonna buy the sex bots, then we are calling God the original donut. It works for me. It works for me. The ball bounced all the way, and I saw the whole thing just line up and all the dots connected, I swear. Oh, Carla. That is so cursed, and you're probably right. And what a good analogy. Mm, girl, you look good. Damn, that was good. Oh, Carla. Oh, you hit me in the parts. Is that why the racists that came to Turtle Island were so dirty? They were God's gross sleeve? Yeah. Yeah, all those Christian colonizers that came here. Yep. Yep. Oh, goodness gravy. Oh, goodness gravy. Hey, we point out these systems and cycles and tactics so that it works like an inoculation against falling for them. You are less likely to fall for the abuse of the patriarchy or anybody else if you understand the tactics and can see them. Oh, awesome. Thank you for coming in, Vaccinatrix. I fucking love your name. That is a fucking awesome handle. Yay! My Wiffy is Big Buddha, and she's currently in the YouTube side managing things because I become irreverent and I talk shit, mad lots of shit. Because nobody calls me because they know I'm right, but I don't know how to not be intimidating. I'm not trying to be intimidating. Every call I've had, okay, not every call. I did have a couple of bad calls. Most of the calls I've had have been good calls. I thought that T guy, he was wonderful. I would talk to him again. He was a delight, actually. I hope he is giving himself credit for things, though, because Glob does not deserve credit for people's hard work. All right, hang on. Nobody wants to answer about dinosaurs or trees. That is Christians, and they're not answering about dinosaurs or trees. You don't want to tell me? Okay, hang on. I got more. I'm not. I told you. I bought it to read it. I did not just buy. I am going to start using it as a dumbbell for like the shoulder exercises. I mean, I think my physical therapist would approve. It's got to be the 3 pound. You know. Yeah, I think it's going to work for a dumbbell. So it actually will be useful for something other than debunking. So that's good. Multi-use. I love a multi-use object. All right. Let's see. Hang on. I'm sure I have another question. Ooh, that could be fun. That could be way fun. We usually do Solidarity Saturday, so tell me when it is and we can probably work something out. We do music and games just to, because I feel like with so much fascism and all this stuff going on and how much stress there is, that we have to have times that we take to breathe. You know, the days that you put your oxygen mask on and just breathe really deep breaths and recalm, and that's what we try to make on Saturdays so that we can do some fun things then. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, I love that. I want to have you come and tell everybody about that anyway. And on Sundays, we do a nerdery where we educate on like any topic or whatever. So let me know if you want to come. I'm sure everybody would love to hear about the org. Uh, we are very big on protect the dolls. By the way, everybody, hashtag protect the dolls in chat. Um, we know that that none of us are free until all of us are free, and if they can attack our sisters, they can attack the rest of us. Anything they can do to me, they can do to you. Anything they can do to our siblings, they can do to you. Anything you manufacture consent for them to do to somebody else, you manufacture consent for them to do to you. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Yes. This week's nerdery, dog's birthday is this week, and so this week's nerdery is Dog's Choice, and it's going to be the AI robots that are taking over all our jobs. Yeah, I mean, being armed is kind of necessary sometimes, especially. And if you are a person that arms yourself for self-defense, please learn the locking hand mechanism so that it cannot be removed from your hands. Please learn how the hand lock goes, because that is the most dangerous thing for people that carry for their own self-defense, is they don't know how to do their hand lock. That is very important. That is how you keep it from being removed from you. So, um, anybody that does self-defense, I've been around pew pews since I was a tiny, tiny child. I am, for those of you that don't know, I am from Wyoming. I was born and raised in Wyoming. So, like, I was shooting a gun by the time I was 5. That is the way it goes in the wild, wild west. They give us things that they shouldn't very, very young. But I know a lot of safety stuff, and if you're going to take part in the Second Amendment of the American Constitution, you have a responsibility to protect yourself and others. So do learn safety tactics, and remember, you never point it unless you mean to shoot the thing you're pointing it at. Ever. All right. Onward. Okay. So, here is one of my things where I could actually, I don't know, I could prove that he cannot possibly be all knowing. It tells you in the very first book, in the first chapter of the first book, multiple times actually, that the Christian glob cannot be all knowing. Who wants to have that conversation? Call me up. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. 720-927-6768, extension 800. Nice. Nice. That's awesome, Transpath. Well, and you will have better instincts if you are up against something as well when you train. Transpath does training for themselves to make sure that they are protected. And just so you know, the more you train with a tool, the more your brain it is muscle memory to it, and the better your brain will respond under pressure and in a panic situation. Because the unfortunate thing is, you don't know usually if you are going to fight, flight, freeze, or fawn until you are in the situation. And one of the ways to bypass the mental thing that causes you to just kind of unconsciously do one of those things is training. So if you want to, if you are a person with like complex PTSD or something, and you have like these certain things that happen to you during extreme stress, training for a different outcome during those times when you're good can help you so much to uh, not react badly during the trauma. And that's one reason why training with weapons really keeps people that are forced to use them or something from making uh, reckless decisions in the heat of the moment. So if you don't want to make a reckless decision in the heat of the moment, make sure that you give good training and practice as often as you can. That's awesome, Transpow. I'm so glad that there's somebody like you running that org too, and like doing that kind of mutual aid. We need people that are actually out there with protection in mind and like understand how all of that works and how to do that, because you are going to definitely make, I'm sure, be more minded of safety things around you just because you already have that training in your head and have already done those habits. So it's good that somebody like you is running that. By the way, y'all, Transpath does safety transport for people that are trans and getting them out of unsafe states and situations. So please go donate to Transpath. Do you have a link for your org that we can make a command out of, Transpath? And we'll just have it to where it'll just come up. I like to make sure stuff like that is just on here. Make a note too. There we go. Awesome. I'm going to put this in all of the chats. If you have a few dollars that you can spare, please do go drop them in transpath.org to the org so that we can get more siblings to safety. It is more important now than ever that we get our mutual game strong, our mutual aid game strong, and that we get in the habit of helping and lifting each other. Right now, this is the most important thing we can do, is keep each other going. That is the most important thing. And that means if you can assist people that need help getting to safety, then you do that. If all you can do is show up and give solidarity to people in need, you do that. But now we have to come together. We have to bridge all of the gaps and fill all of the chasms. We cannot allow the rich, wealthy patriarchs that are using all of us as shiny tools, and most especially men, by giving them bennies. We have to stop allowing them to have so much control over us. They will eradicate our species, and they will use AI to do it. Same, transpath. Big same. Big same. Also, I am part of Transcend, which is a group of some of the most beautiful, wonderful trans people ever. So please go click there. Oh yes, and Carla also works with rainbowrefuge.net. And give y'all this link as well. These are mutual aid to help our siblings, and all of these are very important. We are going to need a diversity of orgs, a diversity of tactics, and a diversity of people, a diversity of styles to keep us all safe. And we have to protect those that are under the worst assault first. I mean, we have to protect each other and we have to protect everybody, but those that are getting hit the hardest, Black trans women, for example, they have to be put at the top of our protection list. So go and donate to orgs like this that are going to make sure that trans people are being taken to safety, and make sure that our siblings are protected. Because remember, if they can do something to me, they can do it to you. If they can manufacture your consent to hurt your neighbor, they've manufactured your consent to hurt you. None of us are free until we all are. And we see the reality of that every day, more and more and more every day. Yeah, I mean, we really don't get to be quiet anymore, transpath, and we don't get to be like meek or nice either. Like, I am kind of on a energy matching death to nice. Like, I am kind. I am truly kind, but that means I require accountability. That means I love you enough to tell you when you're fucking up. I am not glazing you. You're not a fucking donut. I mean, maybe you are. I mean, if you're buying an AI doll, you probably are a donut, because that's what I'm gonna call you. It needs glazed, otherwise they'll go real dry and feel all cakey. All right, let's see. If I have another question for the Christians, maybe one of them, since none of the Christians want to answer to me, like, why nothing about the Bible, nothing about the dinosaurs, no biters for why the dinosaurs aren't mentioned. What happened with the dinosaurs? Somebody tell me. Hey, Raspberry! Somebody tell me. I feel you, transpath. I feel you. I'm also like, I also don't want to hear about allies. I want accomplices. Because allies will turn around and throw the bricks at us. I want accomplices. I want to make sure that those bricks are going at the enemy, not back at friendlies. All right, let's see. Do I have another question for the Christians? One that maybe one of them will want to discuss with me. Let's see. Let's see. We're an hour in to our call-in show and we have no calls. Hey, 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 here's one. So many of y'all, so many of the men in the world right now are going around saying that this needs to be. Why do women need to be subservient? Why is that a necessity? Why is that just? Ooh, I hate the word ma'am, and I am not a ma'am. I present them sometimes for the show, especially, but I am not a ma'am. I am not a him either. I'm just a people. But the ma'am one, I don't know. I find it to be only in my, I know, but in my experience, it's a way to shut me up. I, did I mention that I'm from Wyoming? They're real misogynists there. Like real misogynists there. Yeah, I don't take it to be respectful, but I appreciate you. I actually think that that's one of the habits that we need to break is the sir and ma'am bullshit because it's a binary that reinforces their binary thought, and it too often both of those words are used as a fuck you or a shut the fuck up, and I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but that one for me has always been used as like a silencer, and so I'm not down for it. But like I said, I'm from Wyoming. They're real misogynists there, like real misogynists. Yeah, there's no non-binary honorific, which is one of the other reasons why it is insulting, Carla. I agree. And because there's no non-binary honorific, the cycle of sir and ma'am just reinforces it, them. I mean, we could make one, I guess, but because it's not like normalized into our language, like Sir and Ma'am are, it just reinforces in the minds of gender critical people. It just reinforces the binary for them. And one of the biggest problems is gender critical people are ignorant as hell. They won't admit it. They'll get real defensive. It did settle down, Puddles. If you're in my chat, just settle down. Take a breath. Take a breath. Don't get all defensive. Just because you don't know something isn't necessarily bad. It's when you weaponize the fact that you don't know something and don't want to learn something that when it becomes bad and you become a turf and I have to tell you to suck an elf. But they don't understand like how yeah, words are made up anyway. They don't understand how the categories work even for sex. So of course they don't understand gender. And so if they don't understand how the categories work and then we're just reinforcing their biases through our language, they're never going to get curious enough to check or try. It's one of the reasons why I mean I do the call-in shows and have these discussions like so that somebody will try to have a hard talk, because if we don't get through enough to get brave enough to have the hard conversations with each other, we're certainly not going to get brave enough to solve the problems. But also those type of people have to be kind of forced into logic loops to think through it. And if we're just reinforcing and allowing them to use this extremely binary language that there's no other existing option to, then we're just reinforcing the binary in their mind. It's confirming, etymologically confirming their biases, which is one of the really screwy ways that a lot of the times these biases get confirmed in us. Like sometimes like the we don't even realize that how different words play in our minds and in our psyches because of how we understand how language works. And so there are different like word meanings and stuff that will play in our minds in ways that we don't realize it and color how we see things. It's one of the reasons why wife is still considered somebody that does like the labor in the house, um, and why one of the reasons why like bride and wife they descend from words of ownership, or taming of women, taming and controlling of, and so those things kind of get looped into how we view these things when we're not willing to unpack them. And that's like the real key, is to just be willing to constantly be checking in with ourselves and getting to know how we see the world and interact in it. And then it gives us power over ourselves, which is important, but it also gives us power over how we engage the world. More power than we realize that we have. Yes, master bedroom. Yes, dog. Another excellent, excellent point, example of that. Yes, that is another way that etymology still like persists in our language and colors our perceptions. Because when you hear master bedroom, you picture the good bedroom, the big bedroom, the bedroom where the man sleeps. And that's just baked in to the language, and we don't even consider it, and we don't unpack it, we don't question ourselves about it. It's why we get so defensive and allow ourselves to just get defensive as well, because we're not checking in with ourselves, we're not asking ourselves the right questions. And honestly, whenever you get defensive, the thing you should do first is check with you, because is that something you just don't like about you? Did somebody just say something that you don't like about you, and that is the thing that made you go, oh, stop it? And if so, maybe you need to, maybe that's a thing that you need to talk to you about a little bit before you talk to them about it. You know what I mean? Maybe you and you just need to have a little bit of a talk and see where you are. Because if you're defensive about something, chances are it's something you don't like about yourself. Now, that doesn't apply to marginalized people who get stung by microaggressions of any flavor. That is not the same thing at all. It's like when I say all men. When I say it's all men until it's no men, and you go, oh, don't, it's 9 a.m., 9 a.m., pepper in a.m. That is the instinct I'm talking about. That is when I'm saying check yourself. Because do you feel like a bad man? Do you feel like you're one of the men that I'm talking about that I don't know is bad, that's walking around the world around me? Or are you just a man existing in the world, and masculine socialization whacks you with the stigma because of the way it works? Are you poked by that because you don't want to be one of those men, or are you poked by that because you're one of those men and you don't like that about yourself, but you're afraid to admit it because then you would have to do the work to change it? All of these are questions that have to be done and brought back to ourselves. That's the mirror work that we have to get in the habit of doing in order to correct any of these social issues, because we are a trainable species, we're a social species, and everything we do and are is based on our societal and social training and how we organize ourselves. And if we don't start talking about this stuff and actually breaking it down and changing the way we do this societally, none of it's going to change, and it's going to stay all men until it's no men forever. The Kofi is handy. It's really nice because you can set it to go where you want, and it's kind of more anonymous. It's kind of nice. I've had it for years now. You know, I've been streaming with Twitch for 6 years. I just had my 5 year affiliate anniversary, and I've been streaming for six with over here on Twitch, and I got the Kofi like after I was doxxed and stuff. It's been nice to have. It protects our informations. Yeah, for those of you on the other platforms, I know you've only seen me there about a year. It's because I rebranded. I used to just do art only. New to all of it? Well, welcome in, Vaccinatrix. Are you planning to be a streamer or just a chatter? Because like there is a lot of learning curves to doing the stream thing. There's a lot of stuff. But the Kofi is very nice because it allows you to anonymize a little bit more. I like it. I like it a lot. Thank you so much for the resub. 27 months. Oh my gravy. The burning. Thank you, ATS. I was telling people earlier about your movie and like telling them they had to go watch Project Hail Mary so that they could see two ATSs doing ATS shit together. I swear that movie is it's two of my bestie doing bestie things together. It's hilarious. It makes me giggle so hard. Yeah, you heard me right. I have a friend that is not necessarily them. They're way awesomer than you guys, though. Just telling you. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Here's one, Christians. Here's one. Here's one. Here's one. I got one for you. Maybe you will answer this one. So, on this whole Adam and Eve thing, since we're discussing Genesis here in my brain explosion book. So, on this whole Adam and Eve thing, Eve was never given the instructions. Like Adam was given the instructions about the creepy weird tree of information and non-coercion. So only Adam was told about that tree. And Eve was not. Now, that feels like a setup to me. Like that really feels like a setup to me. And Adam needed no coercion to eat that apple. Eve was like, "Look, it looks yummy, and the snake says it's gonna give us something, and that we won't die or nothing." And Adam's like no coercion. Like, did you want to talk to me about that one instead of the dinosaurs and why God hated the dinosaurs? We could talk about that one instead. 720-927-6768 extension 800. Oh, okay, awesome. Oh, that'll be awesome, Vaccinatrix. Right on, let's go. Well, y'all got this. There are some learning curves, and some of them are fun, and some of them are wildly horrific. But if you have any coding experience or anything, you can do a lot with the streamer dot bot. That is the bot that is in here that does freaking everything here, honestly. Um, the bot does everything here. The bot is what tells y'all greets and does the shout outs. The bot does this. Like the bot does everything. The bot is amazing. And streamer.bot will actually grab and your chatter's information and figure out if they're a streamer or not, and if they are, shout them out. It's the handiest thing ever. I love it. Oh, yes. Yes, dog. The incest question. I was kind of, yes, no, there is a lot of incest in Genesis. Like big it because everybody supposedly comes from Adam and Eve, and so like everybody had to be doing siblings at first. Like it's really creepy. But it's wild because at the same time there were allegedly other people in the world for Cain and Abel to go off and marry. So there's a contradiction there in book one. Like how were there these other people for Cain and Abel to go like have bebes with when everybody only started from Adam and Eve, and Cain and Abel were Adam and Eve's children? How does that, why is that circle just going in? Why is it the Ouroboros of ass flavored assiness? You or somebody want to call and tell me why that's the Ouroboros of assy flavored assiness? 720-927-6768 extension 800. Come on, Christians. You can do it. You can do it. You can have a hard conversation. I don't even bite. I wouldn't want to put my mouth on you. I'm a little germophobic. Have a good night. Yet the Noah's Ark after the flood is another example of very much that. Yes. Hey, if I ever do say anything prickly and poke anybody, I am not trying to hurt anybody, and I actually do care about people. I am just irreverent and blunt. And I do care. So if you are ever poked, there is a place called rfr.org. That is recoveringfromreligion.org. You do not have to be deconstructing to go there. You don't have to be anything to go there. But they have people that would understand the way that you were poked better than me. They have people there that have religious trauma or have questions that talk to each other in a different way that is maybe not as prickly as me. They aren't maybe not as brash as myself. So please make sure that if you are in a situation where you want to make, where you are facing questions or mental health issues with your religious stuff, please do go and seek out people that can give you the right kind of support and the right kind of love. And recovering from religion seems to be those people from the research that I've been able to do. Being crass does sometimes get people to think, but it also can sometimes poke people in parts where it hurts, and we need to make sure that we also give them let's see, first aid kits. We have to hand out first aid kits if we're going to do things that cause pokes and pricks and other things. We also have to be able to manage handing people first aid kits. Having these conversations, I think, is going to mean that we always have to be aware that sometimes people are going to get hurt in the conversation. I mean, that's what that defensive feeling is. That's a sting. That's a oh, that hurt, and they need to be given validation for that being painful. That's the only way they're going to be able to fully engage it, is if we are willing to say, no, I know that fucking hurt. I see you. That is part of it, and it's such an important part in my opinion, and I'm hoping that I do that, and that I can manage to keep thinking of doing that and always do that, because I find that to be a very important part of this, because I do care about this a lot. I'm not just like trying to poke to hurt people or to get clicks or whatever. I actually think we need to have these conversations. We need to get better at it. We need to have the hard conversations and get through like that feeling of discomfort and that hard thing, and be able to still treat each other like people and see each other as people through it, and be willing, even though we're in this contentious moment, to see that you've just caused a moment of pain, and give that person like a second with that. Like, be willing to see that. Like, I think that's important as well. I mean, I'm not willing to really budge on what the harms are. Like, the harms are very clear and distinct to me, and at the same time, I understand how these things get into us and how these systems work, and that we are a social species that are trained and coded by it. We didn't ask for them to put some of this darker, more insidious stuff into our training or into our coding. None of us asked for that. Nobody asked for that. And that's just some of the awful stuff that we get blind to, because it's like a smell blindness. When you're around a certain scent so long you stop smelling it. It's that same sort of thing with some of these cycles and systems. We're so accustomed to them being there that we just ignore the harms of them and keep going about our business with them existing there. And we're at a point, like a breaking point in our societal structure and our very existence, to be entirely honest, where we have this system coming into play that weaponizes our very social nature against us. And we have to get to where we can talk to each other and have hard conversations and get through that and come together in a way that they cannot use these insidious tactics to divide us again. And that begins with having hard conversations and being able to person each other through it. At least I think that's one of the places it begins. Like I said, we have to have a diversity of tactics and a diversity of people, but the hard conversations are important. If we can't get through those, there's no way we can get through the social anxiety of like rejection and attachment disorders and stuff. We have to renormalize talking to each other. That is so important to our survival as a species, which is why I have two sets of prompts. I have the op prompts where if you want to be opposing to me, those are in pink, and you can call and we can discuss one of those prompts and you can find out why I think those things. Or there are the prompts in red, which those are the impacts of trauma. Those are the impacts of the homosocial trauma system that is infecting our society. Those are the impacts of the awful things that the patriarchs are doing to us. And if you just want to talk about those impacts, one of those impacts speaks to you, and you want to tell people about your experience of that impact or whatever, I'll take those calls as well. We will validate you and show that we can see that and give you the swish you need. So if you want to be opposing, you've got the prompts in pink. If you need a little bit of validation and a squish, you got the prompts in red. All right, Christians. This one always gets me, and I've talked about it often, but I think that it's a good point to make and to discuss as often as we can see it and often as we can, because this is the very first thing, and this is the thing that guides so many people's willingness to punish and abuse others. This is where this sort of begins in our social system, in my opinion, is right here. When the original crimes are the gaining of knowledge and informing the ignorant, the system begins by requiring blind obedience and leaving no room or permission for critical thinking or questioning of the world or system. This coding of blind obedience to authority is how and why those that believe this can so easily blame victims of the crimes done by authorities, i.e., ICE, police, slave catchers. You want to discuss any disagreement with that statement? 720-927-6768, extension 800. Yes. All right, let's see. Oh, it goes on. And for the crime of knowledge, of being manipulated by one with knowledge, while without knowledge at the time, women from Eve to now are to be punished. And God would increase birth pain and they would be forever slaves of men. How is that fair or just punishment? And why is punishment so important to God? Why is punishment an important aspect of Christianity? 720-927-6768, extension 800. These are just thoughts and things from reading Genesis this time. You know, we could discuss, I got what, I don't know, 8 or 10 pages here of just Genesis. We could just start there. We just start at the very front of the book. And that usually is where you read a book from if you're going to read it cover to cover. And all of my friends don't want to talk to me about this because they're all atheists and were begging me to not read this book again because then they knew I would talk about it. So y'all, the callers, you should call and talk to me about it. I'm totally reading it. I'm totally interested. Let's go. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We can talk about it. Y'all like it a lot. I mean, we could talk about it, or I could use it as a dumbbell. It really is quite weighty. You know, that actually may loosen up my neck and shoulder. I really need a masseuse. Somebody should buy me a massage. Somehow I slept wrong last night, and I have a crick in my neck. It's very hard to turn my head tonight. It's frustration nation. Well, it appears y'all aren't calling me. You don't like it. You don't want to talk to why God hates dinosaurs. Don't care about that. Don't care about why God hates women. Let's talk about this then. If you believe that God is right to punish women forever because of an apple, when are you going to have that reparations conversation? Because, I mean, if they're supposed to be doing this whole thing where women are punished forever, then that means that you believe a bad act deserves, like, some sort of reparations. Not the circle y'all wanted to jump on? You didn't like that one? Phone's not ringing. Man, y'all don't want to talk about anything tonight. Hello, Ferret King. Welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah, that is your first chat. Welcome in. Welcome to the Shithouse Nation. You have landed in my favorite chat with my favorite people, by the way, and that is a safe space, just so you know. But yes, you have landed in my favorite chat with my favoriteest people. They get all of my warm fuzzies in that chat. Carla. Yeah, see? All my besties are there. And I decided to add Fridays to the call-in show because like Thursdays I don't always get calls and there's other shows. So I figured, you know what? Let's just add another call-in show. So today is the first of the Friday call-in show, and apparently no Christians want to discuss Genesis with me. They know I'm right. They know that their imaginary friend doesn't exist, and if he does, he's evil, and they just don't want me to talk about it because they know it's true, and they just can't handle it being true, so they just don't want to talk about it. The poor babies. I feel so many for them. I feel so many. I'm a little bit of a shit ass. Okay, a lot of it. Also, by the way, if you are in my beloved team, you can cancel me. It is just this easy. Exclamation cancel Pepper. And you can cancel me in chat anytime you want. I will work on everybody else getting a bot that can cancel me too if you think you need one. I feel like you can just be like, Purple team, cancel her. Somebody cancel her. Or you can earn your way to Purple Team and be as awesome as they are. I mean, that is a choice. That is a choice. If you get to be as cool as they are, I mean, then just saying, they're pretty awesome. Okay. How about this one, Christians? How about this one? The other questions were very hard. I know. I started off with the bangers, and I should have started with something easy. Okay, here we go. You ready? Why is Adam largely unpunished? He was the only one that was given the instructions by God. And he didn't argue about it. He just ate the apple. There was no pushback whatsoever. So how come he's largely unpunished? How come he's still the favorite? How come all he did, all he was told was like, okay, now go back to taking care of the plant, okay? I'm just curious. It's not my belief structure. I'm asking questions. Y'all insist that it's the one that I should believe in, so tell me why. 720-927-6768, extension 800. Fair warning, if I don't have any calls in the next 7 minutes, I'm dipping out. I did the whole episode earlier, which, by the way, if you were not here for the episode earlier, please do go to my YouTube here. Let me give you all a link for it. Please do go and check out my YouTube and check out the episode from earlier today that I am about to give you a link for. I would very much appreciate it. If nothing else, if you could just like and subscribe, that would be amazing too. Or yeah, that would be so great of you. Let me get you a link here. I think it was a pretty good look at the new AI sex bot that is upcoming. Yeah, you heard me right. AI sex bots. They are on their way. And unfortunately, they are going to be affordable. And with them is going to come a whole lot of problems. We discussed that on episode 52 today. So if you did not get a chance to see it, please go click this link, go watch it. And, you know, if you don't mind, like, liking and sharing. And the great thing about YouTube is, if you click the share and the copy link, they don't know if you paste the link anywhere. So if you could do that, that would be amazing. Yeah, like a real AI doll that's skin feels warm and everything. And they're coming out at the end of the year to be shipped at the beginning of next year. And they are going from $4,000 to $8,000 for the lower end models for the average man, and upwards of $150,000 for some of the better quality But the ones that are coming out at the end of the year, hundreds of thousands of men have put down their $500 deposit for, and they are able to finance these things, $4,000 to $8,000. And go look at the episode if you don't mind. It was a whole rabbit hole of fuckery that I had to go down and learn. Like I had to see a gangrenous penis, no, multiple gangrenous penises, because I was reading like the type of gangrene that men get when they don't wash sex toys and stuff, which, oh, holy. That was another place that turned out to be horrifying when I got into that. But anyway, uh, the gangrene is pretty horrific. So, you know, understand and get to know what we are in for. Oh yeah, before we got better prosthetics, yes, vaccinatrix. Unfortunately, yes, it's pretty sad. It's pretty fucking sad. Yes, without the AI part, Zetetic, and without the ability to be warm to the touch. These ones, the ones that are coming out, they're warm to the touch, so they will have like flesh temperature, and they have the AI response, and they have different settings. So a lot of the men are choosing the rape bot. Basically, she lets them rape and tells, yeah. Anyway, that's one of the really bad ones, is a lot of the men are choosing a rape bot. Yeah, sex sells literally, but apparently rape really sells. Yeah, it's pretty disturbing. I'm telling y'all, it's all men till it's no men, but hey, you can call me and tell me why I'm wrong if you want. 720-927-6768 extension 800. Or you can ask me what I mean by that. There's only a 95.1% stat that I refer to. Yeah, no, it's pretty cursed, vaccinatrix, because they are playing on the vulnerabilities of certain men. So like the men that want a rape bot, they're manipulating them as well, and so it's going to cause all of these issues where it's going to cause worse objectification of all femme beings, all femme. If you are femme, you are in for some hell to come, because the a lot of the people that are getting these bots do want a rape bot that will glaze them. I'm calling them all donuts. If you buy a sex bot, you are a donut. A donut requiring glazing, okay? That's what I'm calling you. Um, no, no registry. It's actually a setting it's coming with. It's coming with the setting to be able to program it for that purpose. They already have them. There is I believe it's Germany, a company that rents out sex bots with that setting. And oftentimes, once it comes back from the rental, it has to be like repaired because the men are abusing the doll. Oh, oh my. Is that on like Amazon Prime? I don't know. That sounds so cursed, especially after the stuff that I read and saw doing this week's video, but I probably will at some point watch it. Oh my gosh. I think that people should watch, and like I sourced a lot of information. So if nothing else, you can take that link in the YouTube and go and watch somebody else give the information that I was giving. They won't have given it the same, and you will have to have gone to multiple of those places to get all of what I gave, but you can either go to watch my video, or you can go in the description in my video, and it has all of the different links and stuff that I went to. I watched a bunch of like the expo stuff where they were presenting some of the dolls that they want to release to like hospitals and things, because they want dolls in like retail situations so that they can get rid of people in retail situations. But we'll talk about like that more on Sunday, like the dolls they're going to use to replace humans. But like some of the sorry, in some of the oh my god, my brain just farted. I was reading chat and trying to talk at the same time, and my brain just went, no. Yeah, in a just world. Yeah, we don't live in a just world. We live in rape culture, which is one of the reasons why we discussed that today. We unfortunately live in a world where culture is the norm and where it is perfectly acceptable to rape. And in fact, God uses rape as punishment. This is where it comes from. It's okay to objectify women, rape women, and etc. because women are slaves. They learn it here, right here, permeating all of our society. So it's just going to increase that epidemic. It's really bad, and it's already like femicide and rape numbers and stats were already going up, and we just found out this year that it's 95.1% of men that rape anywhere between coercion and force, and now the force numbers are about to go way up, way up. Burn that horrible book. Well, I figure if I'm going to have this conversation, it's really important for me to read it again. Like I read it before, like I've never been a believer, but I wanted to be. And so the first 3 times that I read this book, I was looking for it to be true. This time I'm reading it strictly to debunk it and be able to have this conversation, to be able to try to get Christians to critically think, because I believe that critical thinking and faith cannot exist in the same mind. But you can prove me wrong, Christians. 720-927-6768, extension 800. Welcome in, little Dragonly. How are you doing, honey? I hope you had a good stream. It's so good to see you. Yeah, we live in a world where a rapist pedophile is the president, and a trans woman that attended an ICE protest got 50 years in prison. No, no, no. No. A trans woman that attended a protest and did something wrong got 50 years in a men's prison. A woman is sitting in a men's prison. In fact, multiple women are sitting in men's prisons. And over 60% of ICE agents are raping the women and children that they are taking to those concentration camps. So that is the culture in which we live. No, she did nothing wrong. As far as I know, Carla, she did nothing wrong. She was there. No, it's actually heinous what they are doing to her. She got more time for existing in a space than any rapist has ever gotten. Ever. Oh, awesome, Dragonling. Right on. Yeah, no, I hate what they're doing to Autumn. It's really, really awful. Oh yeah, no, she got more time than the people that murder trans people. Very much. She got more time than any crime other than like mass murder gets. Yeah, I know, Zetetic. It's oh, I'm not going to read that out loud, but I know that that's true. Which is one of the reasons why I said that she's a woman in a man's prison. Like, it's so important that we say that over and over again until it gets through to people's heads. Because no matter what you believe about her, they will abuse her there. And if you are manufacturing consent for her to be abused, you manufacture consent for yourself to be abused. Anything that they can do to her, they can do to you. Anything they can do to her, they will do to you. Or anything they do to her, they will do to you. Yeah, no, I cried so hard watching some stuff about that. Like that was really upsetting. Keep talking about her though. Like it's really important to keep her name on our tongues and keep discussing her, and like hopefully we will get her out of there in 28. I mean, she shouldn't be there. And she sure as shit, it's not even going to be okay, because even if we can get her out in 28, she is going to already have been tortured. They will have already broken parts of her and taken parts of her that we will never be able to get back for her. And that is the truth. That when you traumatize and abuse people to a certain extent, you steal things from them that they can never get back. And if you manufacture consent to harm her, you manufacture consent to harm you. Anything they do to her, they can do to you. Anything. It really is so upsetting. Like, knowing it. It's really awful. And it sucks that like they can do it so easily take the rights of people and decide that they deserve torture, because even even beyond it being too many years for being in a place, even beyond that, knowing full well that this person does will be abused by the people there, and knowing full well that the guards offer this type of person up to unruly men in that system in order to control them, knowing that they are putting her in a torture chamber and setting her up to be tortured, it's heinous, it's disgusting. Yes, they are building this prison for everyone, the flock, the data centers, the detention centers, and it's so that they can traffic the children and turn the rest into slaves. They mean to enslave the poor. That's what the rich intend to do. They intend to enslave the poor. Everything you manufacture consent for them to do to somebody else, you are saying it's okay to do to you, because they're coming for you next. And they prove it every day. Every day. They shot a white woman in the head for being someplace. Shot a man in the back 10 times on his knees. No consequences. You think they can't do that to you, or won't, just because you're one of the good ones? You drank that token Kool-Aid too deep, baby. You should call poison control. That shit was toxic. It had something in it that you didn't realize. No, it does. They do, Dragonly. They want to make people like us literally illegal to exist. Yes. No, that is the goal. I mean, that is what they essentially did, is they made it illegal for trans people to exist. They made it illegal for non-binary people to exist. Like, that's essentially what they have done by doing what they've done. And if nothing else, they've made it unsafe. And because of the way this systems and how it works when they do this type of bigotry, the reality is their unfriendly fire is hitting cis women and stuff, like my wife, who is just very butch looking, who they think is trans but isn't, but their unfriendly fire will hit her because they don't care. They don't care. They just want somebody to hate and blame for what the rich patriarchs are doing to them. And they feel like that's a person they have access to. They can hurt that person, because you hurt the people you have access to, the people you're around the most. That's the reality of who abusers attack, the people they have access to. It's really quite heinous and terrifying. And I'm terrified of that glove that they're getting, because I have an electrical heart condition. That glove would kill me. And they would just laugh at me and say I was faking it or something, because you can't see a heart condition. I'm so sorry, Dragonly. I've been told that too, and that is a shitty thing to hear, and that is a shitty thing for anybody to say to you, and I'm sorry they did that. That is awful, baby. That is terrible. Fuck them in their faces. You don't deserve to be told things like that. That is abusive of them. Of course it was from Christians, because there ain't no hate like Christian love. But hey, Christians, you could call me and tell me why I'm wrong. 720-927-6768, extension 800. Or you can be afraided. You can be afraided and just never talk to me. That's possible too. Though I have had some good calls. So long as you person me, I will person you. I'm just an energy matcher and very sarcastic. My mother used to say sarcasm was my first language. And I used to look at her and go, "Who taught me to talk?" She once asked me, she once looked at me dead ass and goes, "Why are you like this?" And I said, "Have you met you?" So she didn't like that. She really didn't like that response. Everybody else in the room thought that shit was hilarious, though, just so you know. You could just call and talk to the dragon. It was a good answer. It was. It was hilarious. Her face was hilarious, too. What was more funny is, like, my stepfather, who was, like, my arch nemesis, started to just guffaw laughing, which made it even better. Because I just looked at her, I said, "Have you met you?" And yeah, she did not like that. In fact, her response was, "F you, dead name," which was usually her response, which is why dead name isn't my name anymore, because all I ever heard was, "F you, dead name." And it kind of ruins the dead name. The dead name just sounds gross to you after that, and you're like, I'm not gonna fucking be called that anymore. That's disgusting. Oh, geez. Because of course. Because of course. Sadly. I really think that all they succeeded in doing in offing JE was to put the organization he was running back underground and to allow new control to take over. So, like, when um, the Orange Menace brought JE into the White House or whatever and decided that, they're going to be done with JE because somebody has to go under the bus so that they can keep it going. I think they off did I think they did away with JE, um and one of the other 15 co-conspirators runs the org now. And I wouldn't put it past the Orange Menace or one of his kids to be running it now. I think it's the Tate boys, though, that run it now. No, no, dog, it's not. JE is dead. JE is dead. I don't believe that that's JE. I believe that he is dead. Too many people saw the corpse. But I know a lot of people do believe it. And that's like the one of the other dangers of the AI is that well, is this because it's AI, honey? It's most likely AI. But uh that's the danger of the AI. We are going to have a diseased president soon, and nobody's gonna know because they're just gonna run AI shit and convince people that he's alive, and then you're gonna be seeing that he's alive in other people's chats, like we are now about JE. Yeah, I don't. I believe it's just AI. They're doing it on purpose in order to muddy the water and keep people from looking at the actual ringleaders. That's how they distract and redirect us. That's how they get away with doing a lot of stuff, is they distract and redirect us, and that is a distract and redirect tactic. That is a tactic that we use against preschoolers, and they have weaponized it against the populace. But no, that is distract and redirect. That is a very common tactic. um no, I don't believe that. Sorry, honey, I don't believe it at all. I don't believe that that's him. It is AI. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty sickening. This people that send their kids to boot camps um in order to punish them. That's pretty gross. All of that is really gross. But you know that the faith, their faith, the Christian faith allows them to do it and tells them even that that is the right thing to do and it's good and just and valid and etc. Yeah, they can even have people wearing prosthetic face makeup and stuff, dog. Like it's been proven that they have had impersonators from a few people, and that is just a very, very common tactic meant to keep you thinking that so that the actual perpetrators of the crime can keep doing what they're doing and getting away with it. Look over here while they do stuff over here. That's that tactic. Don't fall for it. It's a very, very clear tactic, and they are very clearly using that tactic. That is all that is. Yeah, I would agree with that number, but I don't know if it's the right number or because I haven't seen a stat, so I'm not going to like repeat that number dragonly, but I would say that you might be right or you probably are. Like from my opinion and my estimation, I would say probably. I would have to look at like actual statistics and stuff, and then you have to take those statistics through like different lenses as well because like so many people won't even admit to being abused or will make excuses for their abusers because of the Stockholm effect. They are pretty much always abusive and they're definitely always grooming. They're always grooming. I mean, to be honest, American households are pretty abusive, especially households from my era and before. I am late Gen X, very early millennial aged, and very abusive. Our upbringing was. I mean, most of the time the boomers didn't know where we were and didn't fucking care. They certainly didn't spend any time with us or try to get to know us or anything. They told us to be seen and not heard. And half the time they didn't even fucking want to see us. Probably more than half the time they didn't want to see us. They sure as shit didn't know where we were half the time. Oh yeah, no, those are tactics that are very normalized, and that's why we discuss them, Dragon Lee, is because people have gotten so used to them that they've stopped seeing them as anything other than normal. And so we have to talk about them and point them out and show them for what they are so that we can get people to re-register, oh yeah, no, that is a shitty thing to do to somebody. That is good. That good language to normalize vaccinatrix. Yes, let's go. That is excellent language to normalize. The Christian grooming organizations are exactly what they are. And it's so important that we discuss it that way because there is so much of a just Christians will say, I'm a Christian, and everybody's expected to assume that means I'm a good person, when we all know that that means I'm a hateful bigot and I will throw you under any bus I can so that I can feel superior to you. That's what it really means. But because people have used that word so long to say, I'm a good person, we have to renormalize some new language, and Christian grooming organization is an excellent way, in my opinion, to renormalize new language. And I am probably going to use that as well if y'all don't mind. I mean, yeah, and there are different flavors, Carla, and I'm glad that you didn't have some of the more heinous abuse. Like, I actually know what it's like to have my head cracked open multiple times by an abusive parent. You know, so like there's different levels and layers of abuse, but like the way your brain reacts to it, it doesn't matter what they did to you. Whether you had my stepfather crack your head open with the butt of his gun or you had somebody emotionally abuse you and take you down to this big, it doesn't matter. Your brain is going to react like trauma no matter which of those things happened. It's why we can't like weigh and measure them. Like we just have to protect people from the harm because all of it trains your brain to be more alert to danger and to see danger everywhere as and sometimes to just succumb and feel like that's all there is or to hate yourself. So while I'm very sorry that like you were abused at all, I think that it could have been worse. It No, probably it could. While it could have been worse, it doesn't diminish what was done to you or how your brain took it and reacted to it. So try not, if you can, try not to use that diminishing language, because you felt it and it was real, and that's the important part of it. And when you're honest about that, that's how you heal it. So don't sell yourself short. Give yourself all the information you need to heal, because you deserve to. Mm, I disagree, dog. I really disagree, and that's probably because of what I do and how long I've been on the world, in comparison. But it is very much a tactic that they use, honey, and it is a common one. And with what they are trying to hide and who they are trying to hide it for, I do not believe for a moment that he's alive. Um, no, but that makes sense for him to be dead and her to still have those bennies, dog. It's still part of the same tactic. It's how they play innocent. It's still part of the same tactic. It's part of the divert and redirect tactic. It really is. It's the same tactic. It just, they use it in different ways and triangulate it differently for different people. That is excellent, Vaccinatrix. That is so important to teach people. And that is really what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to teach people to recognize the tactics and to see them for what they are and not want to perpetuate them. And also to kind of inoculate the people that predators target as well. Because the great thing about learning these tactics is it inoculates you against falling for them as easily. Yes, little dragonly. Abuse wrapped in American flags, Bibles, and crucifixes. And I understand, dog. I understand everything you're saying. It's just that that is how they use the tactic. That is how they use the divert and redirect tactic. And they need people like you out here in my chat arguing that I'm wrong in order for the tactic to work. And because you are doing that, they are winning and the tactic is working. I'm sorry to tell you it that way, but that is the truth of it. That is how they use the tactic, and you are proof that their tactic is working. And I'm sorry. Like it's shitty. It's a fucked up tactic, and they're assholes for doing it. And that is a tactic. And the fact that the way that they're doing it is so believable is part of why it's so abusive and insidious. And you saying that that you believe he's alive means it's working. It means that you're still blaming JE and you're not looking at the Orange Menace who's now running it, or the Orange Menace's son, the big tall young one who's now probably running it with the Tate boys. You're not looking at Barron and the Tates if you're still looking for JE to be alive in Florida, are you? You're not regarding that the Tate boys and Barron are now Jeff. You're ignoring that. You're being like, nope, it's still Jeff. He's still running everything. And that's what they want you to think. Because if they can convince you that a dead guy is still running it, that you can never catch a dead guy, he's already buried. And the real people that are doing the abuse just keep doing it and getting away with it. Because they've hidden behind the dead guy that you believe is still alive. That's how the tactic works. And it's why it's so insidious. And it, unfortunately, they prey on people that will believe it. And they know how to sell that lie to you. It's why AI psychosis is so predominant. This is what I'm trying to tell you. These tactics that I'm telling you that make you believe those things, those are the tactics they are using against men. This is how the patriarchy harms men. These tactics, these things that they put into you and make you think and believe. That's how they're doing it. That's how they harm you. It's insidious as shit. They're assholes. All right. It is 8:25. Do we have no takers? Do we have no takers? Oh my gravy. I almost shut my OBS down by accident. How did that happen? Holy. Sorry, y'all. I don't know what went wild there. 8:25. Nobody, no takers. No takers. Everybody's scared. I don't know why you're scared. I just want to talk about it. I'm just a nerd. I just want to talk. I'm not gonna bite you. I wouldn't put anything of yours that near to my poor little mouth. Yes, no, really, Dragonly, no, real. They actually did use that as a way of gaslighting and abusing people then too, Dragonly. That was another divert and redirect tactic. Well, then give me a call, Adam, because you're gonna have to call me to have me uh answer you there. But you can go ahead and call me. And also you're wrong, by the way. You're wrong, 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 because 95.1% of men do rape. 95.1% of men do rape. 95.1%, 95.1%, 95.1, 95.1. Yeah, whether it's coercion or force, 95.1%. Want me to get you the paper so that you can read it for yourself? And that's just the men that admitted it. So it's probably higher. It's probably more like 98% of y'all. But I'll give you the 95.1% as the ones that admitted it. Now you like that? I'll take the other 3% that I believe exist and just grant you the 95.1. Take it, take it. 95 is lower than 98. You might bite only with consent. Well, I will allow you to put your mouth wherever you want it, but I'm not putting my mouth anywhere near them. Oh no, I mean she's definitely one of them, but I don't think that she is the ringleader anymore. I think she had to abdicate, and I think that that's why she's alive. I think that she abdicated in order to save her life. Hello, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? What can I call you?
Well, good morning and good afternoon and good evening to everybody. My name is Demario Douglas. First time, long time. I saw that you have a prompt regarding that. First of all, just want to say I enjoy your stream.
Thank you.
Um, you're very welcome. So my thing is definitely on number 7 when you said MAGA are ignorant and are evil or both. I agree that MAGA are full on ignorant people. I've been surrounded by that amount of people, especially after the assassination of Charlie Kirk last September. Um, I got a lot of flack online because at the time I was dealing with it, I told people online that I was personally not really in value of what Charlie Kirk was saying, and I felt like the way he did it was he deserved to be shot. Now, I know that sounds radical and extreme, but that's where I stand. So I just want to know, why is it the fact that like we get people that are very conservative and right-minded that want to start speaking nonsense compared to someone that is trying to just speak a fair point.
I think it's the I think it's the lack of ability to critically think. It's because MAGA targeted them. I mean, they built them and targeted them deliberately. Like it began like when Reagan was in office, and then with Bush continued it with taking away education. The No Child Left Behind Act actually left many people behind and made it so that the schools would stop trying with those people in order to be able to give them up so that they could keep their test score numbers up. And so they stopped focusing on critical thinking and etc. and started only focusing on test scores. And then they made it harder to get into college, which college is where you learn critical thinking and how to apply those kinds of things. Well, they made it harder to get into college and stuff. And then when they unrolled like the Christian national movements and stuff, they target the ignorant. They target the people that don't get the education and don't understand critical thinking in order to use them as control factors for the people around them and to normalize and manufacture consent for control of others. At least that's what I think it
Well,
is. But I think it begins with that, with deliberately making education be tied to bank accounts.
And that's where I kind of say with a lot of it. So I grew up around the mindset of I won't lie to you. I was a Trump supporter back in 2017. I was very open with his political stuff. I was very open with his stance on the economy. Everything changed around 2020, 2021 when he was a denier of everything going on. People will say, "Oh, well, COVID never existed," but COVID ended up taking the life of my great grandmother and my grandmother. So I'm very envious about that. With where people stand on that, I mean, I was surrounded by a lot of people that thought that COVID was a hoax and COVID was a full on fraud to the government. Um, you feel like now we see this world where we see now people are still wearing masks, people are still wearing their protective situation because they don't know if it's still a controlled situation where they'll still be part of. I mean, I work with a coworker of mine that has to deal with it all the time. Do you feel like it's still something that people are afraid of taking the risk now because we have Trump still being our president right now?
Oh yeah. No, I've noticed the rise in mask wearing since they shut down the organizations that were giving us health information. Just in my town, I never stopped wearing masks. I got vaccinated, and I couldn't have the first round of vaccinations because of a condition that I have, so I had to wait, and so I had to initially get the J&J, which ended up not being a very good vaccine, and then I was finally able to get the real vaccines and the boosters and stuff. But COVID was out for 4 years before I got it, and I got long COVID, even vaccinated from it. And that does have like some effect on like it has like a traumatic brain injury type effect on a lot of people and stuff, so it can cause a lot of issues there. But no, I believe that right now we have so much going on, and because they're not giving us information about anything, I think people are more afraid, and that's why we're seeing more masks.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like out of pure safety, like I'm not someone that does wear a mask at the moment. Won't lie to you on that, but I definitely I am very envious and very careful when it comes to that, especially with our generation, because who knows, something can happen, and boom, we have another pandemic, and all of a sudden people are unprepared about what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
Naturally, I do not want to take a sacrifice of like planning the unexpected, but I do want to make sure like we all know that naturally we are prepared again because I know a lot of the MAGA people are pissed off with Fauci. People are pissed off about how 2020 was apparently a hoax. But I saw it with what Kirk was saying. Charlie Kirk was saying this stuff about how MAGA people are very into the mindset of feeling like that COVID was just a ploy by the government and made all these things to be used. And I have never believed in that. But again, there are people that just believe in the craziest mindsets out there.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know. It's so much, there's so much abuse going on and so much abuse of the average person that we are so blind to seeing because it's so normalized, and we're so used to gaslighting ourselves in the way that they have taught us to do and keep this cycle cycling, that I think that a lot of times what we come up against and why I rebranded to do this show and like point out certain things is because we are so blind to them. If we don't have somebody pointing it out and saying, hey, look, this is part of the problem, we can't see that bigger picture and be able to say, oh shit, that is part of the problem, we have to fix that. And so a lot of the times we'll have like men that are put into this homosocial system and told you're not allowed to feel certain things, you're not allowed to express certain things, you have to be in control all of the time, and then that translates into shutting down and abandoning themselves, and then that turns into behaviors that harm society and most especially women and children, and then we get into the cycle because everybody in that loop is a victim where we don't want to address any of the issues because then we have to point out that we have to start somewhere, and nobody wants to be that place in the loop that gets started. And unfortunately, we have to start somewhere in the loop, and the best place to start is where the loop begins.
Well, right, and that's exactly where I stand. I mean, I'm very political in that mindset. I've always been open about it. I had always seen this argument being brought up online where people very are still pissed off about people wearing masks, and I'm like, it's out of pure safety at the end of the day. It's pure out of the even if quote unquote the COVID things are gone, apparently the world still spins. we see people around the world that still wear masks out of safety. It's not like we just, all of a sudden we're wearing masks because it was 2020. We've been wearing masks for ages,
I
even
started
from
wearing
during the.
masks in 2005. I'm autoimmune, but also I lived in Japan for a few years, and
Right.
they just do it as a social courtesy to one another. If they have an allergy or a cold, they'll wear a mask when they're in public so they don't give it to other people. And so, and I'm autoimmune, so I got into the habit of wearing masks during cold and flu season, like back then. And I think that the people getting mad about masks and stuff is so much an example of American entitlement and American what do you call it? No, it's entitlement, right? Yeah,
Yeah, I would say it's
an
entitlement for sure.
entitlement issue. And like, I don't know, it's just a way to respect each other. And we have so much toxic individualization telling us to disrespect each other and divide and don't have these hard conversations, don't sit in discomfort together, that we don't know how to do it. We don't know how to have like a contentious conversation and still be personing each other and treating each other like this is a person that is valid in the world, and we have to get back to being able to do that. Even when we don't disagree, when we don't agree, we still have to be able to talk to each other and exist in the same world. And if we can build habits where we get into these habits of actually listening and talking to each other and personing each other, we're going to get a lot further in solving these problems, I think, and just seeing them in general, because there's so many things that since I started talking to people, and honestly, since I started going into men's spaces and like more of the red pill and black pill spaces and seeing it, I see more of the issues. I see more um of the problems that are like plaguing the minds and why they're going to these spaces and seeking the validation there. Now, I don't support going there and becoming more toxic and like getting your validation there, but I see why that space it exists, and I see why it's kind of intoxicating and why you want to go there, because you need validation, and we're not trained to give each other that when we disagree with each other. And I think that's one of the things we have to rebuild, is just being able to talk like this. So thank you for calling me. I really appreciate it. Like, just
Yes, of
setting the
course. And I hope
example
you
of
have a
being able
good
to
night.
do this. You too. Thank you
You have a
so
good rest of your
much.
night. And I'll call back. Do you do the? I've only seen the show a few times, so I just, again, like I said, first time, long time in a real while. Do you do the show a lot? I just want to make sure if I do call back eventually.
Thursdays through Sundays, and then Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays I do a call-in show. Saturdays we do a solidarity thing because we've all got so much stress that Saturdays I reserve for music and gaming and just de-stressing. And but Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays is when I take calls, and I do a topic every Friday.
Okay. Well, I will definitely keep you in the loop, and I definitely want to call back eventually. So I
Thank
do
you.
appreciate it.
I appreciate you as well. Thank you so much for calling.
Of course. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night.
Thank you. You as well.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye. Trip in the YouTube. Yeah, I know that conservatives in the USA say a lot of the same thing. It's because a lot of the conservatives, especially the ones from Wyoming, are fucking socialists, and you just don't understand how words and definitions work because you drank the Kool-Aid and fell for the fear mongering. That's why they say the same things I do, Trip, is because I was raised with those conservative people and I understand how they think, and I radicalized, honestly. I'm not radical because of like because I hate people. I'm radical because I love people. I'm radical because I know how much pain and abuse people are taking and then dishing back onto themselves in order to please and perpetuate the system. I'm like this because I fucking love people, not because I hate people. But thank you for making that point and saying that, because I think it really is an important thing to keep saying, because I think that that's how we get to where we can have these hard conversations and people each other through it, is realizing that they see the same things. They have been, the system has been weaponized against them. Just like I was explaining earlier today in the topic today, how the AIs are weaponized against men. They are trained by manipulative men to manipulate men. It's the same thing. This whole system is trained to manipulate and abuse us, and it's a gaslighting abuse circle. And as soon as we can see it and understand the tactics, we can stop them from being able to do the harm they can do, and we can normalize something new. We can normalize something better. Yeah, it's really hard when they get things in our head that's hard to get out, Doc. I'm sorry that you had somebody go through that. COVID was frightening, and like when I got it, it was one of the worst experiences, and I was 4 years in and vaccinated. And when I got it, it was bad. It was really, really bad. I never want to get it again. It was really bad. It was one of the most painful things. That's the thing that like stands out when I remember having COVID, which I'm a mask wearer. I've never stopped wearing a mask. I honestly often wear an N95, but I've only had it once, and that's because I'm cautious and I'm autoimmune, so I have to take care of my health because the rest of American society doesn't respect its neighbors enough to be willing to help take care of my health. So I have to take extreme caution with my health, and I've only gotten it once, and it was one of the most painful things. It was so bad, and it was just days and days of pain. Actually, it was weeks. It was like 3 weeks that the pain was really bad. But I have pain, chronic pain things. So I think that because I already have like these chronic pain things, that is the thing that it attacked hardest. But all right. Thank you so much for a Friday, the first Friday call in. And we had a wonderful call. I am so lucky with the people that have called me. Y'all that have called me, and that except for that one guy that crashed out. Y'all are wonderful. I appreciate you so much. It makes me feel so much better when I have these good calls, even when if they are like started off with something we disagree on or whatever, like it was with that one caller. I like that we are still personing each other through it, and that we're able to have these conversations, and having these hard conversations is how we're going to win. It's and remember, we save us, we lift us, and part of that is we start peopling each other and seeing each other as people. And if you see me as a person, it's going to be a lot harder for you to manufacture consent for my harm, and vice versa. So let's start looking at each other and seeing each other as people. And remember, you got to do that thing you do. That thing. The thing where like every time you say a bad thing about you, or think one that you say two good things, that thing. Yeah, you got to do that thing. This is when you start treating yourself better, you are accidentally going to treat the world better around you, and it's going to improve your interactions and your connections, and you will be able to make more deeper connections that mean something to you, and you deserve to have those. So go do that thing you do. I'm serious. I'm not even playing with you. It sounds absurd, but it stinking works, and you're the only you're going to get. So it's about damn time you start treating you like a person too, and stop letting these patriarchs pull your fucking strings. They're assholes, and they don't deserve that much power over you. All right, next, schedules. Schedules Thursdays, 3 to 5 Mountain Standard Time for a call-in show. I will go over if people call in late. I'm okay with that. Fridays 4 to roughly 6. It depends on how early or how soon I get the topic done and what the topic is. Some topics will be 1 hour, some topics will be 2 hours. So Fridays we'll have the topic from 4 to 6. All of this is Mountain Standard Time, and then 6:30 to roughly 8:30 we'll take calls on Fridays. Tomorrow, Solidarity Saturday. I'm so excited for tomorrow. It's all music and games. It's gonna be so good. I'm so excited. That is like my rebuild my spoon collection, refresh my brain day, and I'm very excited for it. So that is from 6 p.m. Mountain to 10 p.m. Mountain. And then on Sunday we do nerdery. This week's nerdery is going to be the robots that are going to be taking all of the jobs and putting you out of work. And so that will be what we are doing for nerdery, and then after nerdery we will do a call-in show. So nerdery from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m, call-in from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Sunday. Oh yeah, you're doing a nerd out tomorrow, right, Dragonly? And I know my Discord is a private space, like you do have to prove that you are a safe person to be invited there. I did invite us some new members tonight, by the way, y'all, just so that the people in my Discord know. I did invite us some new members, and if you're a member of my Discord, you are permitted to invite people to the Discord. But unfortunately, it is not a public Discord. It is because this is a lot of emotional labor, and I spend a lot of time in the Discord with those people, and so I need it to be a safe place, and I need it to be a comfortable place, and so that is why it's private. But all of the other spaces are open, and if at some point we need a space for the whole channel, I will build one. But for now, my Discord is private, but I will be hanging out in there probably later. I'm gonna go change, and it is really hot in here, and see if I can get cooled off, and then I will see you beauties later. Hey, chat, you look good. Go forth, be good to yourself, be good to others. Remember, if you don't put your oxygen mask on, you're gonna be passed out. You're no good to anybody then. So go, take care of you. Treat you like a person. I will see you all tomorrow.
Girl, you look